Hello and welcome to the Audio Dad Chronicles. I'm Shale, and today we're going to take a little bit of a dive into Suga from BTS. This will be his review of the Maschine Mk2. Hey there, editor me, just putting together this video here for you all, and it's been a few days since I originally filmed this, and there's been a few updates on some situations that I do get into briefly or not so briefly in the video to come for you all, so I won't spoil too much of it all. But I just will say that it is absolutely my intention to get into some more BTS music soon. It was not my intention to release this video at this time. I was originally going to release a few other music videos, music reaction videos specifically, before this one. But there's been a few revelations along the way on the channel. And for those that follow me over on Patreon, and I do really appreciate it, and the link is up there, you can see that I have recently uploaded a reaction video to Butter, BTS at the Grammys. And the reason is because YouTube wouldn't allow me to put it online. The Grammys blocked it entirely worldwide. They said, no, you cannot have this video viewable by anybody. So I went over to Patreon. And then I had the video reaction for Black Swan, which is on YouTube right now. And out of the blue, I got a notification of a copyright strike, but only a warning for it. I do mention that a little bit in the video, so I won't get too into it. All I will say is that Big Hype, I think it is. Is that right? Anyways, the publishing agency behind BTS gave me a warning for a strike, and they said that I had to make a few minor adjustments and pull back an appeal, and if I do all the things that they asked, they will not give me a strike. So they were gracious there, took that away, so that's good. So the video is online, not monetized. All money that is money from the ad revenue all goes to BTS. That's the way it is, so be it, no problem, no issues at all there. And then I was originally going to, the next music video relating to BTS was supposed to be the Tiny Desk concert. And it was in the queue, it is edited, it has been there for about a week waiting its turn in my schedule just to go live. And when I originally edited it and put it up and had it in my system in the YouTube studio, it was flagged, or not flagged, pardon me, its copyright status was none, i.e. it found no restrictions or no reasons to withhold the video from going live or anything like that, which was cool. I mean, it's very, very rare that happens, but it actually means I would actually be able to make a small amount of money on that video. Most of my videos get demonetized and all ad revenue gets paid to the artists, not to me. That's just the way things are on YouTube these days. Some of you know, some of you don't know, but that's the kind of behind the scenes way that it all goes these days. More and more videos are being flagged for the most absurd reasons. It only takes about 10 seconds in a video of copyright content, regardless of how long the video is. And all ad revenue gets handed away from the person who made the video and to the person who made that 10 seconds worth of music. I've even heard stories of YouTubers who have been out in the world just, walking and whatnot. They're not even music reactors. And a car is driven by, and the algorithmic computer system, whatever, picked up on the car in the distance, heard the song, and said, hey, you owe money to Beyonce, or whatever it was. And they've had their entire video demonetized or striked or whatever. It's a thing, it happens. It's a frustration, to be sure. So the point of this, anyways, is when I originally put up the BTS Tiny Desk concert, a video that many people have reacted to, getting tens of thousands of, in some cases, even over 1 million views. I had mine in my schedule. There's going to be some receipts going on here along the way on the side. I don't know when they'll appear, but they're going to be over here. There's going to be some receipts, and my status went from scheduled, no restrictions, and then out of the blue, that switched to blocked worldwide. The video hasn't even gone live yet. And I thought, oh, that's unusual. Interesting. Okay, well, I've seen that happen once or twice before, and I just leave it there in the scheduled state, push it ahead, and it goes away usually in a couple of days. That they've all cleared usually in the past, not always. The Grammy one never did, hence it landing on Patreon. A couple of days after that, it was just still sitting there in limbo. I got a notification that I received a copyright strike from NPR for a video that dozens of people have already had a reaction to and millions of views, and mine has not even gone live. And again, here's the receipts to validate it. For those that call BS, because I do get called out from time to time when they don't believe it, no, this is not BTS's doing. This is 100% on NPR. But for whatever reason, they said F this guy in particular, and they've taken down my video and given me a strike, and that video has never even gone live. So, much to my preference not to do it, this is why that video is also now on Patreon. Moments like this, some people get away with things, some people don't. They can change their mind at will and go back on multiple-year-old videos even. But some people have issues from time to time, and it's also why I regrettably had to do quite the editing job to some of the volume of the background music in my Taylor Marie reaction video to her guide. So that's why I did it there. I will get into that a little bit more in the video to come. Just wanted to do a quick little recap of what's happened to me on this channel in the past few days. Like I said, give you some receipts to the situation and all so you understand what went on before we get right back to where we should have been doing the reaction to Suga's Maschine Mk2 review. So, enough talking here. There's going to be plenty of talking to come in that. I'll let y'all go for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Upcoming now will be the Maschine review. Peace. So as I begin my journey into becoming a member of the BTS Army, it has come up many times in my comments about his use of the machine, and I have spotted it with great enthusiasm in some of the tutorial, or pardon me, guide videos that I've been watching thus far. And so I thought it'd be pretty neat just to kind of check out his little review of it. Apparently this was done right before he joined BTS. And it's a few years old now, and in fact, the Maschine Mk2 has been long replaced by the Maschine Mk3, which is what I use. It's right in front of me, which is one of the reasons why it kind of appealed to me. But I thought it'd still be kind of interesting just to see him kind of just go through it, and for however old it might be, for how he used it back then, and not sure if he still uses it to this day or not. I've been a user of the Maschine system by Native Instruments. Rest in peace, Native Instruments. Not sure what that's going to mean for the future of a lot of us users, but I've been a user of the machine since early on the Mark I. In fact, I had a Mark I for the longest time, and it only recently died, maybe a year ago, and I finally made the commitment to upgrade myself to the Mark III, which I've been using, although I haven't produced any full tracks yet, get too distracted making these videos and so on. But I definitely produced some music with great glee and fun on the Mark I. I considered moving to the Mark II, but never did. Now I'm on the Mark III, and it's great, and I love it. There's so many things I could go on about myself. If any of you music producers are out there are interested to know my opinion on the machine, maybe I'll throw it out there in this video as we go. But anyways, as I understand it, Suga will not be speaking English in this, so I do have the subtitles on. I'll be reading along, and I don't expect them to be too perfect. They are auto-generated translations from Korean, so we will see how it goes, and I might need to do my best guesses along the way. We'll see how it all plays out. But in the meantime, let's just open this on up. And there it is. That is the Maschine Mk2. For those that don't know what it is and were kind of interested in this but are only beginning to watch this channel or get into music production of your own or whatever, or just plain curious, on this channel myself, I'm a roadie, or former roadie, I should clarify. I've given up my life on the road to become a dad, and that's my journey, and I got into electronic music myself at a much younger age than I am now, that is. Mid-late teens, and I was really into a lot of industrial music and things like that, Ministry and Skinny Puppy and Delirium and artists along those lines. That's kind of my personal background into electronic-related music. And along the way, I picked up the Maschine Mk2. And Machine it's a combination. It's hardware. We're looking at his hardware. Mark II, meaning, the second generation. And it goes with a DAW, a digital audio workstation, some software that can be used to beat sequence and chop music and slice it and add effects and add samples, and there's all kinds of things you can do with it. It's quite a powerful system. I'm not going to turn this too much into a review of my own of Machine because I really want to hear what Suga has to say about it. But along the way, being that, like this is a channel that does get a little bit into music production and the behind the scenes of how live shows are done or maybe music is done, my focus here is a lot more on, the roadie type of a thing, music production kind of a thing as part of our journey into discovering music, which is what made this video appeal to me. So we're going to get into this. We're going to let Suga do some talking for a little bit, and we'll just see kind of where we go from here. I didn't really have a plan. I just thought I want to hear what he has to say, and I'll just build from that. So let's go. Let's let the man do his talking.
안녕하세요. 슈가입니다. 오늘 리뷰할 장비는 에나이사의 머신 MK2입니다. 이전에 랩몬스터가 방탄룸을 소개할 때 사용했던 장비죠.
I'm going to
이
take
장비를 통해서 비트를 만들어보고
I'm going to take a guess that the translation for machine might be monster, just kind of reading between the lines a little bit. I don't speak Korean, of course, and this is doing a best guess translation on the spot. So let's assume that that's what it meant by monster. Maybe he's just meaning this monster here, this big guy here, because it's fairly beefy, for scale. Well, it's bigger than my head. I don't know how big it is in inches or metric. I'm Canadian, so I'm going to think in metric more than not. But anyway, he's got a cold. Okay, so
목이 좀 많이 잠겼어요. 네, 양해 부탁드립니다. 네, 오늘 샘플링을 통해서 비트 만들 건데요. 이 머신의 가장 큰 장점이죠.
oh, a speed through sampling. Going to get into do a little bit of sampling on it. That's very interesting.
그래서 오늘 샘플링
It is very easy to sample.
많이들
Very powerful to sample with.
아저씨의 OST입니다. 네, 한번 들어볼게요.
Let's hope I don't need to pause this too much during little musical interludes like this. I do hate pausing too much, although I've come to understand that the BTS army is very appreciative of that and for the reactors to give their feedback and all that. And well, that's kind of why I'm here. Normally when watching a song, you don't want to interrupt it too much, but YouTube makes us, to be perfectly honest. We have to kind of do it. And in a recent video of mine, which was the Taylor Murray guide, I unfortunately had to mute the songs a lot during the editing stage of my video. Throughout the course of it, there is a lot of interlude bits, filler music and whatnot, which is all BTS tracks. And although there was no issues whatsoever with Taylor Murray and her allowing me to use her video in the reaction, which of course very appreciative of, and the reaction or the guide itself as a whole, amazing, really great job, excellent job. Looking forward to doing the chapter 2 on that very soon. It will come, I assure. But the little bits of music in between, when I released it, I got about 15 to 20 copyright flags, not strikes, flags, notifications saying that there is a potential problem with this, and it could prevent, future issues or copyright, not strikes, but notifications and da-da-da. Hopefully won't get any strikes of any kind. But if I just edited out very small sections where, some of them were 5 to 10 seconds long. Some were unfortunately as long as 30. It would just get through all the flags and I wouldn't have to worry about that. So I hate doing stuff like that. I try and I spend a lot of time sometimes tweaking it, maybe shrinking the video square on my screen to make it a little bit smaller. Then, okay, the visual is allowed now, maybe putting just a filter over top of it. Sometimes just editing the volume of the music is sometimes enough. And sometimes it just doesn't matter. I just simply can't upload the video at all. And after spending hours and hours making them, it's very frustrating. And it looked like to me that the quickened solution to this one was simply to mute the audio in various points. And so I reluctantly did so, and that cleared it and allowed me to upload it. So for those that asked why I did that or why I made that decision, that is what it is. That's why I finally ultimately decided to do it. I'm hoping that I won't get into too much trouble with this because there is going to be a little bit of background music in this. But if you see me pausing it or, pardon me, muting it in editing after the fact, apologies for that. It's just to make sure that I'm able to release this video without any concerns of future hangups. And that's always a concern. Now, not to make it about money by no means, but a lot. I do mean probably 3/4 or more of the music reactions that I do are flagged for copyright and I lose all monetization for them. I'm doing it for the love of it and for the interest of the music. Certain artists are very, very positive and pro reactors, and they have mechanisms set up with their publishers to clear it, to allow it to be used. I've heard several people make comments along the way, not on my videos per se, just in general about the reactor community, equating us to music journalists. And I thought that was a really astute observation, and I really appreciated it. Because in hindsight, I feel it was very accurate. I think of myself, being now in my early 50s, but having read the newspapers, remember those back in the day, for upcoming concerts and album reviews, or reading even magazines, Rolling Stone or Hit Parader or Chart or whatever. And album reviews, live show reviews, talking about bands, interviewing bands. And those artists are approached by the newspaper to do an interview, or they go to their live show, or they get a promotional copy sent to them for free of the CD, and they listen to it and they write about it. They got paid to do that. The artists didn't pay them, and they didn't pay the artists. They sell a magazine, they get to release the magazine, they get to, a couple of dollars or whatever it is for the magazines, and the writers get paid to write it. And for decades, that was a perfectly normal, acceptable situation. Well, the magazine market is not the same as it once was. Newspapers are practically dinosaurs at this point, and music magazines and the music sections of them aren't quite what they were, and the audience that's reading the newspapers isn't the same as what it was. A lot of us people these days are taking our content in through social media, through YouTube, through things like that. So, how is me, for example, watching a song, discovering it, listening to it, reacting to it, observing and critiquing and talking about it and promoting it? How is that any different than a music magazine? In many regards, I feel it isn't. So if a music magazine is approached by an artist or approaches an artist, does an interview, listens to their CD or their music and reviews it and releases it, it's not much different than me. Now, I don't always want to make it about money, and I absolutely accept the fact that the vast majority of the videos that I release will never be cleared for monetization. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, and there's things we can do to challenge it where we dispute it. But what will happen is either the publishing company, it's not even the artist, it's never the artist. They're usually not in control of these things and don't even know what's happening. But a lot of the times, the publishing company will say, no, we are standing up for ourselves. You will be punished if you react to this. If you act the role, if you will, of a music journalist, we are going to punish you. We are going to take away your channel. We are going to shut you down. We're going to give you a copyright strike as it happens. Now, that's just the way it is. And there's nothing you can do about it except give them the money for your work. That's literally how this works. If not this video per se, but if I was to, and I'm certainly not picking on BTS, but let's talk about BTS. The very first music I ever listened to of theirs was Black Swan. Now, in hindsight, I do learn that maybe not the best place to have started. I should have started earlier in their career, should have started with a guide and things like that, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just picked a song. It had a lot of popular views. Let's go for it. And I dove in. I watched that song. I reacted to it. I edited the video. I took my time and I did the thing and I uploaded it. And it was immediately flagged. No, all monetization is taken away from you. It will be paid to BTS. Okay, well, that's how that works. Okay, well, what if I say, well, no, 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 no. I feel that I have put a lot of effort into this. I have done what they call transformative. I have talked a lot. I have watched a lot. I've critiqued it, or I often try to do stuff like this. Maschine is a great example. From an educational perspective, I feel that I am not just stealing their music, reproducing it or re-uploading it unedited, and I'm trying to steal money from BTS. Quite the opposite. I want to promote them. I want to learn more about them. I want to encourage other people to join the army just like I recently have myself. That's the goal. It's to learn about music, educate myself and others about music. So maybe I should, push my luck, if you will, and I will dispute that. And I hit the button, and within 2 hours, I got a copyright strike notice. They want to take down my video for Black Swan unless, thankfully, I will admit, thankfully, they gave me the opportunity to change my mind. They don't usually do that. They just go, nope, bam, you have a strike. I have one actively right now from the artist Bandmate. A lot of people like to say Bandmate loves reactors. They do. They do. They genuinely love them, the band members, not the publishers. I've never heard of anybody ever getting copyright strikes from Bandmate. Yeah, ask reactors. They'll tell you otherwise. I can name drop many that have, and I know many that refuse to do them on their public YouTube channels and only put them on Patreon just for that very reason. So whatever. Anyway, enough of Bandmate. But with BTS, I thought, well, this video, it was a lot of work and a lot of fun to make and really educational and interesting for me, and I want to promote the artists. What happens if I dispute it? And they immediately said, no, we will give you a copyright strike if you do not take that back. So, well, I apologize. I will pull back my appeal. You will get all ad revenue collected for my video promoting your music. That's just how that works. So anyway, that's why I'm kind of pausing it here. And if I wind up muting this particular track that he's playing in the background because it turns out to be copyrighted material, I'm not trying to steal from Suga or the artist that he sampled here, whatever it may happen to be. It's just education. It's, music promotion. It's music journalism, if you dare call it that. But that is a reality of what we all have to face and what we do. So thankfully, the BTS publishers, will call them, I forget the name of the company offhand, that sent me that notification, but they were gracious. They gave me an out. They said, hey, excuse me, drinking coffee. They said, we'll give you a chance to pull that back. We're not just going to give you a strike right away. And I do appreciate that candor from them. I gladly rescinded it. I've learned my lesson. Any and all BTS content that I do will not be monetized. They won't let me. Okay, well, that's just the way it is. Still doing them. Still doing it for the love of it. But, it's nice being paid. It's nice having a small reward for your hard work and effort, but not all artists will allow for that, and they will, collect the ad revenue from themselves, and it is what it is, and I'm going to carry on forward, and I'm going to continue to do BTS because I'm really enjoying and loving their music. But interesting little side tangent that it's got nothing to do with any of this, but let's get back into this. Really curious to see what he's going to do with the Maschine from here. I've been babbling on enough. Let's let Suga do some talking.
그 아저씨의 OST를 이제 비트로 만들어 볼 건데, 대충 컷과 드럼 루프를 짰어요. 왜냐하면 이미 완성을 시킨 비트이기 때문에 음, 대충 이렇게 OST 샘플한 거는
Okay, since he doesn't seem to be getting too much into it, at least yet, I mean, I haven't exactly let him talk for long, but it's a pretty short video overall. Just because I mentioned without making it into too much of a review, I'm going to kind of catch you up to speed on what he's doing or what I feel he's likely talking about through the best translation that it's offering. If you look over there, I point to mine, but you can't see it. I don't have a second camera to put it on my screen, unfortunately. And if I point to my screen, you're not going to see it. So I'll just try to describe it as best I can. Just under his left hand there, you'll see the word groups, and there's 3 ABCs lit up. Groups are assignments for those 16 white pads, and he can load samples of music or drum sounds or anything he wants, 1 per pad, and you've got up to 8 different groups that you can assign it for. I'm going to oversimplify it. I'm not going to get too much into it, but it can be used in a lot of different ways. You could take a single sample of like a whole song and chop it into 16 pieces. You could take 16 bits that make up like a drum kit, your bass drum, your kick drum, your open hi-hat, your closed hi-hat. You can make it a bunch of little chopped up vocal dialogues and go through all the different sound effects. And then when you hit the play button, you can lay them all out on a screen. He would have a monitor in front of him or a laptop. You can see the mouse off to the far left. And then you lay it all out on like a grid kind of a thing. It's very much like Ableton Live, if everybody's ever seen or heard of that. Very similar concept, like practically identical. So he can just get different beats going, use different chopped up samples. You can play it live in real time. You can record it in real time. Above the white pads, there's those 8 knobs, and you can see on the screen depending on the screen you're on, they will change their assignment. So like this one on the left, it's got, a BPM. So this is at 93.5 beats per minute. The tempo auto, that's part of the sample recording thing. It goes through all the different stuff. So all those those knobs and the buttons on the top, they change based on the mode he's in, whether he's looking at groups. Down the middle, below the word pads, just to the left of the white, you see scene, pattern, pad mode, navigate. Those are all, again, taking you through different functions of the group. He's in pad mode right now, which means the pads are activated to play up to those 16 different parts. And on screen, he does have 16 lit up, which means that he has loaded 16 different samples. And the brightest one in the bottom right-hand corner is the one that's actively playing. If he was to go below that to navigate, it would take him through different management scenes. And again, all the knobs and buttons at the top, they would reassign. Duplicate, so that's, copy, paste type of things. Solo and mute. Those are the buttons I use if anybody has watched my deconstruction videos. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a playlist right there. And what those are, solo means put this pad on by itself and shut everything else off. And mute is mute to this pad. So it's kind of the opposite of solo. So solo plays one pad only and shuts everything else off, and mute silences that one pad. And as a MIDI controller, that's actually what I'm doing when I do my deconstruction videos, is I've loaded a song's individual samples into my DAW, not Maschine in this case, but I'm using the controller still. And I'm using the solo and mute buttons to shut off the different instruments so we can listen to just the singing or just the drums or the bass or whatever. And I will absolutely be doing a BTS song very, very soon. And I will use my machine to solo the vocals so we can all listen to them isolated on their own. That will be coming soon. But let's go some more here.
뭐 이거랑
So you can see him triggering different pre-recorded sounds that he's loaded into it already.
이거랑 이렇게 했는데
Very cool.
이걸로 이제 스케치를 해볼 거예요. 대충 드럼 루프 만들어 놓은 거는
So this is what he's recorded or laid out already up to this point. He's just hitting play and just playing the music. Now he's on group A, and you can see that it looks like there's only maybe 4 pads that he's programmed sounds into.
킥, 808 스네어,
Kick, or snare, pardon me,
808 하이햇,
hi-hat,
808 오픈 하이햇. 네. 이것들이 이제 전부 다 모신을 사면
808.
들어가 있는 샘플, 드럼 샘플들이거든요. 네, 이걸로 루프를 만들면 네, 이렇게 있죠. 여기에 이제 아까 컷을 해놓은 이 샘플들을 입혀 볼게요. 네. 일단 드럼 루프를 실행을 해야겠죠. 그리고 메트로놈.
So he's probably getting set to record something live. He hit the shift button and then the play button, which turns on the metronome. It's not recorded, but it plays in the background so you hear it. And if he wants to, he could engage the record button and jam over top it real time and add parts. Now he's just jamming to it, maybe practicing or getting ideas going. He's not recording them.
대충 이런 식으로 진행이 되는데, 네, 이거를 이제 REC 버튼을 누르고 플레이를 하면 이게 그대로 네 찍히게 되죠.
Yeah, like I said.
그래서
Yeah, the record button, it'll record it. And depending on the mode that it's set up in, he's on the wrong screen, so we can't see it right here, but it's playing looped patterns. Might be 1 bar, 2 bar, 4 bar, 8 bar, 16 bar. And when you record, it's going to just loop back and forth. So you would record the amount of bars that you want to record, and it's just going to continue to loop and play it over again. Then you can go back in and, add an extra drum beat that maybe you missed or you couldn't get the coordination down. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to record a little bit here in real time or not.
집계 된 완성된 이제 비트를 들어보면 네.
So now he's just playing it for us, but he's not actually using the machine software. Really interesting here. Just a little side mention that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with this video, but it kind of made me think about it. When I was watching the original Boris City guide, I got really excited when I saw the machine in the background because, as I've mentioned many times here, I use one, and it's a lesser relative in the market anyways. It's a lesser used equipment relative to Ableton Live, which is probably the most known one for beat making and chopping of sound effects and samples and stuff. But got super excited when I found out that Suga did it. So I was like, wow, that's cool. I was like, hey, that's something to talk about. I got all giddy. And during the course of that Boris City guide as well, along the way, they're playing different musical samples and snippets of the music that the BTS has done on their own, or as a group, I should say, or the individual artists and singers in the group who have done solo albums and so forth. And along the way, there was a track that really stuck out to me, and it was called More. I came to learn it's a song of J-Hope's from Jack in the Box, I believe was the album. And I was like, hey, I really like this. What is this? And so a lot of you filled in the gaps for me. Always appreciate that. Always appreciate the comments and the feedback. And I was informed it was this song. And so I thought, I'm going to have to come back around to that. I'm going to have to come check that out sometime. And so what I've decided to do, because I've heard a couple little snippets of other songs or people mentioning the album and its importance in J-Hope's career and this what a great song More was, and I've only heard like this much of it, and I wanted to hear more. And so I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to listen to that album as a whole. So over on Patreon, I actually do a series I call Spin the Black Circle, and that's where I listen to an entire album front to back with minimal pauses, but maybe I'll make an exception in this case because I know you all love that kind of a thing and the added feedback that we have to offer. But I'm thinking I'm going to be doing very, very soon now, maybe even by the time you see this, I'm going to do a full album reaction of J-Hope's Jack in the Box, which will feature More. Assuming I got the album right. Pretty sure it was Jack in the Box. But the album with More on it, either way. I'm going to do that all front to back. So not to say I won't do a Suga album or, try to find something where he maybe used the machine or gets more into this, because I'm very curious about that, of course. But it just as it happened through the course of that video, I kind of got inspired by this idea. And so next installment of Spin the Black Circle is going to feature J-Hope's full album featuring More. Hope you all look for that over there. Really excited and looking forward to doing that. But let's go back into here. Let's see what else he's got to say with the machine and see if I've got any other tidbits to add about it. Sounds like he's just kind of wrapping it up, though. We're pretty close to the end of it. Oh, just thought of it. Again, sorry, I got to stop it just in case I get all those copyright struggles. If I keep the length of the bits shorter, it makes for a lot less concerns later on about inadvertently breaking the YouTube copyright rules and getting myself in trouble, and I don't want to do that. Again, I've mentioned the deconstructions where I use the machine as a controller, and I isolate the stems and I separate it, and I'm going to be doing a BTS song very, very soon in that format, and I hope you all look for it. Still taking suggestions, haven't picked the song yet that I'm going to do. Doesn't have to be one that is all about the greatest vocal performance, just a really cool song. I mean, it's no matter what you all pick and help me pick, it's going to be great. It's BTS. It's going to have great singing and rapping and whatever else. It's going to have a good beat to it. It's going to tick all the boxes no matter what. So there really isn't a right or wrong by any means. But if there's any particular good song where our focus even more on the vocals, whether it be just a killer rap breakdown or maybe some crazy harmony thing that they do where we really want to take out the instruments and just listen to the singers on their own. We won't be able to separate the individual singers, but just really focus on the singers on their own. We're definitely going to do that soon. So again, taking suggestions, please leave some ideas in the comments. I write them all down. We're going to see how it goes from there. I might make a poll. We'll see how that goes. Not sure how all that will play out yet, but there will be one coming very, very soon, BTS deconstruction style. And if you all have an artist that you want me to hear, whether it's more BTS, a certain specific song, or a different artist that you're a big fan of, can be an independent artist, can be a big name like BTS. Over on my Buy Me a Coffee page, I'm also doing sponsored reactions. I'm trying to raise a little bit of money right now to offset the cost of a lot of what I do. Getting this camera, this was a direct result of some sponsored videos. I'd like to get some better lighting in here. These earphones, if you see me fidget a lot, they pinch my head. It's time to get some new ones. So I'm hoping that through a couple of sponsored reaction videos, I'll soon be able to upgrade some of my equipment, because everything I do run on this channel goes right back into it. Paying for subscriptions for the software that I use or the editing programs that I use and graphics programs, upgrading my space. If you all have tuned in this channel before, I used to be in that corner of the room over there. I've shifted things over, and now that I've put up a little bit of acoustic sound paneling just to help dampen it in here, get a better control of the lighting, because the sun would always come in through the window and just wash out my face and little things like that. So to help all that along, I do on the Buy Me a Coffee page, you can either just leave up a straight tip to say thanks and support the channel, and we always appreciate that, or you can sponsor a reaction for practically anything. And you can sponsor a first-time listen, or you can sponsor a deconstruction video where we take the song and we do the stem separation. So all those options are available over there. Do check it out if you would like. I would really appreciate it. And like I say, everything that goes back into supporting the channel, especially because, again, for what it's worth, it's not about the money, but the vast majority of the music reacted to on this channel does get demonetized. It is primarily for the love of it and to learn and experience new music, but it is nice once in a while to get paid for the hours and hours and hours that go into putting on these channels and all the, frankly, thousands of dollars worth of equipment that are sitting in front of me. It always helps because despite being a musician of my own, to be perfectly blunt, I make nothing from it. I'm not famous. I am a former roadie. I am all in it for the love. My touring days are over. My, being out there on the stage and performing, all those days are over for me. I'm just a guy in a basement just trying to enjoy and appreciate music, and I always appreciate you appreciating me. So anyways, let's let this wrap up. We're all pretty much at the end here, and I think I've bored you all plenty by now. I must say I like his ring though. I had one like that many years ago. The one, the middle finger, that is. Love it. That's really cool looking. I don't know if it was the same, but it had a very similar wave kind of a pattern and with dots on it. Love that ring. Anyway, I think we're there. I think this is pretty much the end of this video. Yes, indeed. Let's just throw that back up on screen just for reference. Take a quick little peek at it. Kind of just did a basic little overview of what Maschine is about for all of you that didn't know that maybe saw this or decided to watch along with me. He's just kind of doing a quick little demo of what he made with the Maschine. Maybe one day I'll post some of the music that I made with mine. I went on a splurge when I first got it, and I had some major creativity, and I pumped out probably 10 to 15 songs in as many days, and it was a lot of fun, and I've produced music over the years with it ever since. And again, very little of it has ever seen the light of day. I don't make music for money by any means. I do it purely for the love of it. All of my music has been released for free. I've never made a single penny from any of my music. I just do it for the love of it. It's something, it's a big passion of mine, as I'm sure my corner of my room is evident. And yeah, that's why we're here, just to love and support music, love and support each other. So enough is enough. I want to say thank you all for everything you've contributed so far, all the positive comments, the feedback, the suggestions, sticking around while I babble on far too long about very little. I really appreciate all of you. I am certainly growing to appreciate BTS more and more. There's absolutely going to be some music coming in no time at all. I've already recorded a few songs. I've got a bunch coming out very, very soon, and I hope you all look for it. And I thank you all for coming along for the ride, and I hope to see you again. Peace, love, and empathy to you all. Good night.